Charles IV, King of Bohemia and Holy Roman Emperor, had a long and successful reign. The empire he ruled from Prague expanded, and his subjects lived in peace and prosperity. When the emperor died, the whole empire mourned. More than 7,000 people accompanied him on his last procession. The heir to the throne of the flourishing empire was Charles's son, Wenceslas IV, whose father had prepared him for this moment all his life. But Wenceslas did not take after his father. He neglected affairs of state for more frivolous pursuits. He even failed to turn up for his own coronation as emperor, which did little to endear him to the Pope. Wenceslas the Idle did not impress the imperial nobility either. His difficulties mounted until the nobles, exasperated by the inaction of their ruler, turned for help to his half-brother, King Sigismund of Hungary. Sigismund decided on a radical solution. He kidnapped the king to force him to abdicate, then took advantage of the ensuing disorder to gain greater power for himself. He invaded Bohemia with a massive army and began pillaging the territories of the king's allies. It is here that my story begins.
God bless. Same to you. Today's a scorcher.
Well, husband, how goes it?
Good. I should get it finished today. Where on earth is Henry? I need him to run some errands.
He was still sleeping when I went out.
At this hour? Blue-blooded idler.
Well, it looks like he was out all evening, drinking like a lord.
Go and get the lazy bones up then. Quick clout round the ear should do it.
Mm-hmm. Henry! Get up now. There's work to be done.
I Mother! Get up or I'll come get you up, you slugabed.
Hear that? You'd better not vex him. Now get up quick. Your breakfast is on the table. Wait, what's this? Have you been... Oh, Henry. How many times have I told you about fighting?
Oh, it's nothing. It's just a scratch.
You've been at that sword play again, haven't you? You'd better pray your father doesn't get to hear of it. You know how he feels about it.
Oh, don't worry, it wasn't that. I just scratched myself is all.
Well, just don't come crying to me if you really do get hurt. Now get up, you rogue. A fine state you're in this morning. What on earth did you get up to last night?
At least you're up, that's a start. Anyway, we've a lot of work to do today. I'm finishing the sword for Sir Radzig, and I need your help.
With what?
I'm running out of charcoal. Run to the market and buy a bag from the charcoal burner.
I'll need some money then.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Kunesh still owes me for an axe, a hammer, and the nails I sold him a month ago. Not to mention his debt from before. Go and tell him to pay up, at least for the axe and hammer, and then use the money to buy the charcoal.
Kunesh? That drunkard? That'll be fun.
Well, you're a big lad now. I'm sure you can manage. If not, tell him that next time I'll come myself and personally use that hammer to bang those nails into his arse.
Sure, I'll be happy to hear it. Is that all?
Not quite. The Chamberlain at the castle has the crossguard for Sir Radzig's sword, which I had engraved in Sasau.
You want me to go and pick it up? All right. Money, charcoal, crossguard. Got it.
And ale. Stop off at the tavern on your way home. I know you'll be going there anyway to see that girl of yours. But make sure the ale's still cool from the cellar when you get back.
Her name is Bianca.
Right, so make sure Bianca draws me a nice cool one. Run along now, work won't wait. About time. Have you got everything I wanted?
I have charcoal, the hilt, and the ale. We can start.
Good job. Let's have it then, son. Well done. Right. Let's see what kind of job the master in Sasau did for us. Look at that, lad. Well, that's what I call craftsmanship.
What does the inscription mean?
Damned if I know. Doesn't look like Czech to me. Latin, maybe? Lord Radzig ordered it. Oh, this will be the finest sword I've ever made. Have you got the charcoal? Good. Then fire up the forge. We'll put it all together. By the way, someone paid me a call. I reckon you might know what it was about.
I'm not sure.
Really? Because I'm pretty sure you and your friends threw dung at Deutsch's freshly whitewashed house. He was here with the catchpole earlier, and it was not a friendly visit. What got into you, Hal?
That Deutsch was talking treason in the tavern about Sigismund and the king. He got what he deserved.
Got what he deserved, did he? You can go and clean up the mess you made and apologise to him. I have a trade to run. The German pays well, and having my son in the pillory helps nothing and nobody, least of all the king. You understand?
Yes.
Look me in the eye, Henry. Do you understand?
I understand.
Good. Then we'll never have this conversation again.
So you think it's right to let traitors speak ill of our king?
The boy gets caught making a fool of himself, and he still hasn't learned his lesson. So Deutsch spouts rubbish and what? You turn into a common thug. You might win a fight with violence, but you'll never win an argument. Remember, Henry, if you want to convince someone that they're wrong, try using your mouth and not your fists.
The furnace is ready.
Right, we'll do the grip. I'll heat it up, and when I take it out, you slip the grip on so it fits exactly. You know what you're doing. Do it. Good. Once more. That's it. Done. Now file it down so it sits well in the hand. I'll prepare the guard.
Father, why did you leave Prague? Who ever heard of a master swordsmith making horseshoes in a village?
I had my reasons, Hal. And here I have your mother and you. Why would I want any other life?
Do you remember Emperor Charles?
I do. Life was good under his reign.
Better than now.
He built half of Prague, and a score of castles, had a bridge made over the Moldau, and founded a university, and all without a war. He knew how to rule.
Better than Wenceslas.
Better by far. But Wenceslas doesn't have it easy. It's hard to step into the shoes of someone whose like is born only once 1,000 years.
What about Sigismund?
Do you think Charles would have brought an army down on his own people like Sigismund? No. Wenceslas may not be the equal of his father, but Sigismund, he brings shame to the royal name. How's it going? Give it here, and we'll put it all together.
It's magnificent.
Indeed it is. The Lord be with you. My father sent me for those nails.
Good day to you, Teresa. They're ready. Will you fetch them for me, Hal? They're in the trunk in the living room.
Here are those nails you wanted.
Thanks. So, how's Bianca?
She's fine. Why do you ask?
Just wondering, will you be going to the dance this evening?
We will.
Maybe we'll see each other there. Anyway, mustn't keep you. I'll be on my way. That sword is truly beautiful.
Fine lass, eh? Now stop staring at her and come and see this. It's time for the trial by fire. We did a fine job.
I would expect nothing less from such a renowned swordsmith.
Well, those days are gone, sir.
You haven't lost your skills, though. Would you like to try it?
Sir, what good is a sword to a commoner?
Let him try it. You still have a lot to learn. Ask your father to show you how. He knows what he's about.
Learning his trade will serve him better in life, sir.
Perhaps. But who knows what the future holds for each of us. I see that you almost have it finished.
It just needs a polish, then Henry will bring it to you.
Excellent. Fine work, very fine. A sword such as this will bring honor to its bearer. What say you, Svan?
True, Sir Radzig. If I'd have had its like back in Nicopolis, things would have worked out differently. How odd to find such an accomplished swordsmith working in a place like this. A man of his talent would have no problem making a fortune in Prague or Vienna.
You're right. It's a very long and peculiar story.
I'd be glad to listen to it over a cup of wine, but duty calls, and I must leave. Here you are. Learn from your father. He truly is a master of his craft.
I'm sure our paths will cross again.
They certainly will.
Once it's ready, send your son up to me with it. Good work, Martin.
Sir.
It's been an honor, Sir Isvan. Have a safe journey to Sasau.
The honor is mine, Sir Radzig. Thank you for the hospitality.
A long, peculiar history.
That was a long time ago. I might tell you about it sometime, but not today.
Will you teach me how to use it like Sir Radzig said?
Why?
Well, it could come in useful. Maybe I'll travel a bit before settling down. I'd like to know more than the tavern on the green and the forge.
You know the trouble with an adventurous life, son? It can end before it gets started. I might teach you how to handle a sword, and then someone will shoot you with a crossbow as soon as you set foot outside the house.
You talk as if you've seen it happen.
A man my age has seen a lot. Being a blacksmith might bring no glory, but it has its benefits, like keeping your head on your shoulders. I want to end my days in Skalitz, here, beneath the linden tree and by your mother's side.
Well, so do I, one day. But first, I'd like to see the world, meet new people.
Meet them or beat them?
Meet. Do you have to keep going on about it?
Then you've no need to learn swordplay.
A messenger.
He was in a hurry. What's happened? Listen to me, Al. Listen carefully. Take the sword, go into the house, and grab anything else important from the trunk. Go to the castle. Hurry!
What about you?
Your mother is in the village. I'll fetch her and we'll follow right behind.
I'll go with you.
No! You'll do what I say right now. Give the sword to Sir Radzig. If anything happens, he'll take care of you. He owes me.
Closing! Move it, people! Come on! Come on! Oh, Henry! Thank God! Get inside, quick! We have to shut the gates! Get running, people! Come on!
Mind this for me.
Are you mad? You can't go back! Get through the gates! Come on, Hal! You can still make it! Run! Find a horse! Ride to town, Merc! Tell them what's coming! Warn them!
Run by the moat! There's a path down there! Jump down from the wall and flee!
Oh my God! Wait!
Jesus Christ!
Help! Skeleton's been attacked! Do something! Help!
Quickly, everyone! Get your asses here!
Hey! And loose!
Hanyo! Who's in there? They're turning tail! Quickly! We're closing the gate!
Someone give him a drink. And bring hot wine and bandages. Tell me, boy, who are you and where are you from? What in hell's name happened?
I've come from Skalitz. They burned it to the ground. Slaughtered everyone.
Who? Who burned it to the
A
ground?
huge army. They attacked without warning. And they weren't Czechs or Germans either.
Who then?
I don't know. I've never seen armor like it or heard their language. Maybe Tatars?
Tartars, you say? Yeah. Well, we'll deal with that later. First, let's have a look at that leg of yours.
I don't know.
Grit your teeth, boy. I'm gonna pull that arrow out. Easy. All done. You were lucky, lad. The arrow missed the bone. It only needed bandaging, and I've done that often enough before. War is a good teacher. Can you stand? There you go. Good as new.
Thank you.
If you idlers nothing better to do, get back to work. You'll have to speak to Lord Divish. Can you manage? Sir, this is a survivor from...
I heard, Robard. Tell me, boy, what exactly happened? Did you see the ensigns of the attackers? And were there any more survivors?
So, I don't know what army it was, but it was huge. There were dozens of banners flying on the hill above Skalitz. The ones who did the slaughtering spoke a strange language. They burned Skalitz to the ground, but a lot of people took refuge in the castle. I wasn't quick enough. And as I fled, they shouted from the battlements that I should come and warn you.
The soldiers the boy didn't recognize. They could be those Cumans of Sigismund's. It said they came to Hungary from the east, and now they're the core of his army. Sacking Kuttenberg must have given him a taste for stolen silver.
Skalitz is a small castle, sir. If Sigismund attacks, they can't hold.
Indeed, Sir Robard. And our small garrison would be no help, even if we could risk sending them.
You think we're next in line?
Maybe. What's your name, boy?
I'm Henry, son of the Skalitz blacksmith.
I know him. Did he make it inside the castle? I'm sorry. It's in God's hands now. No one else can help us. Anyway, thank you for risking your neck to warn us. Robard, take care of Henry. Make sure he gets something to eat and some rest.
Yes, sir.
And get all the people inside the gates. We have to prepare for the worst. Make all the necessary arrangements.
As you command, sir. Ah, milady. You are fortunate our good lady Stephanie of Talmberg has graced us with her presence.
My lady, I'm honored.
So this is our brave young man. Welcome, lad. Bozhena here will take care of you. No doubt you're tired and hungry.
Indeed. How could he not be, poor soul? After everything he's been through, he must be as hungry as a bear, aren't you, young master? Here you are, then. Eat your fill.
And a little wine to wash it down.
Thank you, my lady.
When you're done, you can go and rest with the grooms in the Outer Bailey.
No, that won't do, Sir Robard. After all he's been through, he deserves a proper bed. Let him sleep in a lodge in the courtyard.
Certainly, my lady. Young Henry here is overwhelmed by your generosity.
Yes, yes, thank you, my lady. May God reward you for your kindness.
Eat up now. You're in capable hands, so I'll leave you to it. Good night.
Good night.
Good night, man.
When you've done, you can sleep in the bedchamber of the courtyard lodge. And don't forget to take off those filthy boots before getting into bed.
Today the patrols will be doubled. Keep your eyes peeled. If you see anything out of the ordinary, report it immediately. Understood? Yes, sir.
Yes?
It is I, Henry. Forgive the intrusion. I didn't wake you, boy, did I?
My lady, no, not at all. But what brings you here at this hour?
I thought you could do with a little wine. It's just what you need to help you sleep.
My lady, thank you. You really shouldn't. You could have sent a servant.
I was going to, but to tell you the truth, I couldn't sleep either. I thought of you while saying my prayers. How awful it must have been for you. I came to offer you solace. to let you know you're not alone.
Thank you. Thank you kindly.
You're welcome. Now, Henry, I know this is all very new and strange for you, but I want you to feel at home here. You're not to worry about anything except getting better. God knows you've been through a terrible ordeal. I know what it is to be left alone in the world, although your loss is much greater. But with God's help, the pain will ease in time. And it can help to talk about it, if you feel like it.
You might be right, my lady. I'll tell you what happened. It was terrible and unexpected. The day started just like any other. Father sent me into town on some errands. I went to the tavern to buy ale for Father. I know it's a job for a groom, but I didn't mind, because my girl Bianca worked there. I courted her a while and we agreed to meet in the evening, but our meeting was never to happen.
Oh, dear boy.
When I'd done all the errands, I headed back home. I promised Father I'd help him with his work, and I was looking forward to it. He was forging a sword for Sir Radzig. The sword was taking shape when Sir Radzig himself came to have a look at it. He praised Father's work and said that with his smithing skills, he could easily make a living in Prague or Vienna.
You don't say.
But Sigismund's horde was already on the horizon, ready to attack the town. A horde of soldiers was amassed. Pennants flapped in the wind, the armour glinted in the sunlight, and the horses whinnied impatiently. They were waiting for Sigismund to give the command to attack.
How awful.
And then death descended on Skalitz. Father told me to take shelter in the castle while he went to get Mother. She was stranded in the town, surrounded by Sigismund's butchers. And then I saw him knocking down one Cuman after another. I never saw him fight like that. But then the leader of Sigismund's raiding party, a knight in full armour, saw Father and charged at him. He cut down my father without a thought. And then he turned on my mother. And he murdered her in cold blood.
You poor boy. May the Lord have mercy on their souls.
I ran to the castle like our neighbours to take cover, but I didn't make it. I had to find another way to save myself. The men on the battlements called down to me to flee to Talmberg and warn you. I was lucky I knew a concealed path around the castle. I needed a horse to get to the safety of Talmberg and to warn you all.
And with all that was happening, you thought of others like a good Christian.
Then I heard a scream. It was Teresa, the mill wench. She'd been caught by a gang of Cuman savages who planned to violate her. I wanted to help her. God knows I wanted to, but... Even though I had the sword we made for Sir Radzig, they had me outnumbered and they were well armed too. I only just managed to grab one of their horses and ride off. I couldn't help her any more than I could have helped my parents.
It wasn't your fault.
I'll never forget the horror. It will haunt me for the rest of my life.
That's terrible. How could something like that happen?
God alone knows why he lets such things happen.
Oh, you poor boy. I understand your grief, but God is not to blame for the ills of this world. That is the work of Satan and those who do his bidding. Those who are corrupted by greed, envy, and pride. You must not lose faith, whatever life brings. Fate has not been merciful to me, and my husband either. Although in comparison to the horrors you went through, I was young when I married my husband. It was my father's wish. Divish was a lot older than I, but a woman must bear her lot. Shortly after our marriage, before I even got a look at Talmberg, the castle was stormed and my husband was imprisoned.
Really?
My husband had some quarrel with Sir Havel Medek of Valdek, who decided to resolve it by force. He stormed the castle, burned down the village of Pribyslavitz, and killed many of our men, even the old chamberlain. He imprisoned my husband in the castle and put his own garrison there.
That's awful.
I was barely 18 years old, and all of a sudden, I was left alone with Sir Robert. We didn't know what to do. We went to Prague to appeal to the king and sought help from Divish's friends, but all to no avail. We tried for years, but it seemed I was destined to be left alone and my husband to rot in jail in his own castle.
Years, you say?
7 years. That's how long it took before Havel was condemned as an enemy of the crown. And even then, he refused to surrender the castle and release my husband. In the end, I raised the money to pay a ransom, and only then, by the grace of Lord Jesus, did I finally lay eyes on my husband once more.
7 years? And was Havel punished for it?
Never. And after 7 years, my husband returned to me an infirm old man.
Sir Divish seems like a good, strong man.
Certainly, only he has many concerns. He had to rebuild Talmberg. After he was released, the king appointed him Burgrave of Prague Castle, and he was very busy. He had no time for me at all. But at least we were in the city, and there was something going on. And now, we're here.
My lady, you're still young and beautiful. Your best years are still ahead of you.
Would that that were true, lad. Would it were true. But what am I doing bothering you with this? You have troubles enough of your own. I'll go and let you sleep. I enjoyed our little talk, Henry. Good night, and God bless.
Good night, my lady.
Henry, wake up. You don't want to miss this.
What is it? What's happening?
Come to the battlements. One of our patrols reported a company heading here from Skalitz.
Not that I'm spoiling for a fight. Not that I'm spoiling for a fight, but if I have to choose a place for one, then right here.
Do you think we can drive back Sigismund?
Listen up. If it's Sigismund and his army, prepare for the worst. But don't be daunted by their numbers. Heed my commands, and all will end well.
Hey, you men down there. Tell the people outside the walls to prepare for attack. Quickly, do you understand?
What's going on?
I don't know. It doesn't make sense. Why would Sigismund advance on Talmberg in the night? Especially since he's lost the element of surprise after the raid on Skalitz.
Maybe it's not him.
Then who is it? The scouts Jivish sent to Skalitz to spy on Sigismund said he'd set up camp and was getting ready to storm the castle. And so Radzig is an experienced soldier. He'd surely hold the castle for quite some time. It doesn't make sense.
What else did the spies see?
Not much of anything. Before they could get close enough, this huge storm started. And you were right. Sigismund has a hell of a lot of soldiers, including all manner of mercenaries. An army like that costs a fortune. Well, anyway, we'll find out when they get here, won't we?
Aye, we will.
Take care, then.
Halt! Who goes there? Lucifer and all his minions. Who else, Robber?
Sir Radzig, what a relief.
Is his lordship there with you?
Yes, sir, he is right here.
What are you doing up so late, Divish? At your age, you need a good night's sleep.
Well, Radzig, you didn't exactly pick the best time for an outing either. In a big hurry?
It was a bit of a scramble, all right. Believe it or not, this tempest is a godsend for me and my men. As my old granddad used to say, better a sore throat than a slit throat.
I'd say your grandfather was a wise man. Your messenger told us what happened.
Messenger?
The lad you sent to warn us.
He's alive? He made it to you?
He's here with me. He only got away by the skin of his teeth, though.
Thank God.
A brave young man. But tell me, friend, how on earth did you manage to get away?
Thank God for this tempest. When it began, Sigismund's Tatars crawled into their holes and left us storming the castle for more clement weather. We were able to sneak out right under their noses. The Lord be praised. We wouldn't have stood a chance against them.
Would you like to spend the night in Talmberg?
No, no. When Sigismund finds the castle empty tomorrow, he might come looking for us. We'd only be exposing you to danger. Without me and my men, he has no call to attack you.
Well, what will you do then?
We'll march to Ratai. It's only a short way, and there we'll have a better chance of defense and enough room for all of these people. If Sigismund should come, better bend your knee, Divish. There's no point dying in a battle that's futile.
You're right there.
Is that boy still with you?
I'm here, sir.
You have courage, lad. That I can't deny. I am sorry about what happened. Would you care to join us?
I'd like to, sir, but first I have to return to Skalitz.
Are you mad? What do you want there?
I can't leave my mother and father. I won't leave their corpses rotting in the street. I'll join you once I've taken care of them.
Don't even think of going back there, you donkey. Are you tired of living?
But sir!
Quiet! I'm sorry about your father, but getting killed as well won't help him. Divish, make sure that lad doesn't budge from Talmberg until things quieten down.
Not to worry, friend. Anyway, he's injured and needs to recover. I'll lock him up here as if he were Havel of Baldic.
I've seen you've grown a thick skin since your tribulation, sir. But thank you. We'll meet again when circumstances are more favorable. Farewell.
Farewell, friend, and good fortune. Give my regards to Sir Hanush.
I will. And good luck to you and your people, too. These are dark times. Move out!
Anywhere, people! Move out! It's only a short way to Ratai now!
See how the self-appointed king wins the love and respect of his loyal subjects.
Indeed, Robard. Sigismund of Luxembourg has a rare talent for winning people over to his cause. We may be in for a surprise, though. I don't think he will set his heathen dogs on us today.
Greetings, Lord of Talmberg.
That's the bastard who led the attack at Skalitz and killed my parents.
Don't be an idiot. Do you want to end up like them?
I am Sir Markwart von Aulitz. I come in the name of Sigismund of Luxembourg, King of Hungary and Croatia, who has resolved to strike against those who disrupt concord in the land and to restore order in the name of his brother, King Wenceslaus IV.
Restore order by burning and pillaging the king's estates.
Greetings, Sir Markwart. The efforts of the king's brother to bring order to this chaotic land are undoubtedly noble. It seems to me, though, that he and his army have somewhat strayed. As Burgrave of Prague Castle, I am entirely beholden to the king, and here in Talmberg divine peace reigned until your arrival. To what then do we owe the honor of your visit?
Yesterday, His Majesty took action against the enemy of the kingdom, Sir Ratsig Kobila, who has been using the silver from the Skalitz mine to fund insurrection against the crown. Unfortunately, the insurgent escaped. Would you happen to know, noble sir, where he might be at this time?
As far as I know, the Sir Radzic of which you speak is the king's hetman at Skalitz. I find it hard to imagine that he would rebel against our king. Nevertheless, I can assure you that Sir Radzig is not at Talmberg. He would be a fool indeed to flee from one castle, where he has little chance of defense, to another, where he has even less. Or do you take the view that my humble manor is any obstacle to your army?
Am I to inform the king, then, that Sir Radzig Kobyla is not at Talmberg, and that he has your loyalty?
Sir Radzig Kobyla is not here, and I have no intentions of getting embroiled in affairs from which I have nothing to gain.
Very well, sir. As you wish. I will relay your words to the king in the hope he will be as well disposed as you seem to be.
Those who have clean consciences and goodwill may find themselves well disposed even at moments like this, when there is little cause for joy. Farewell, sir.
Auf Wiedersehen.
My lord, you have my utmost admiration.
Get on with you, Robard.
Why did Sigismund burn down Skalitz and then come here too?
That's war for you, lad. Certain lords have resolved to take things into their own hands and eliminate anyone who doesn't share their view. Unfortunately, Sir Radzig is one of those. And what's more, he was sitting on a pile of silver that could help King Wenceslas's allies.
What happened in Kuttenberg?
Kuttenberg, well, I'm just a simple soldier, but the good Lord gave me ears, and I've heard some things from Sir Divish and from those who fled from Sigismund's pillaging.
Were there many?
Indeed, but it was the Kuttenberg mercenaries who came to see me, because I knew them from before.
I see.
Listen, lad, these are all games of the high aristocracy. In Prague, a cabal of nobles rebelled against King Wenceslas, wealthy aristocrats who took against our king for reasons of their own. There's no doubt Sigismund had his fingers in the whole affair. Him and Wenceslas's cousin, Jobst. And that cabal helped him abduct the king.
So then why did Sigismund attack Kuttenberg?
Why do you think?
So he could loot it?
Correct. King Charles, may God grant him eternal glory, built Prague into a proper royal city, while King Wenceslas took a liking to Kuttenberg. After Prague, it's the most important city in Bohemia, in the entire Holy Roman Empire. He who commands the Kuttenberg silver is king.
So Kuttenberg sided with Wenceslas because he favoured it?
Now you're starting to understand. When Sigismund imprisoned Wenceslas and took control of Prague, the people of Kuttenberg began to raise an army against him. So with the attack on Kuttenberg, Sigismund killed two birds with one stone. He defeated Wenceslas's most powerful allies before they could stand against him, and also gained immense wealth.
Where did these humans come from anyway?
I don't know much about them, only what the Chamberlain said, that they came to Hungary from the east and settled there. They're godless barbarians and merciless fighters. The nobles used to say the Hungarian king shouldn't enlist them, because they dishonor our rules of warfare. But when there's power and money to be had, it seems that honor isn't worth my spit. And believe me, it's always about power and money.
Sir Robard, I need to get to Skalitz.
What would you do there, lad? Sigismund might have left. The place will be swamped with robber barons, brigands, deserters, and other vermin. And anyway, your lord commanded you to stay here.
So, let's get to it. Damn it all. How am I going to do this?
Do you need some help? Is that him?
Yes. Can't you see the sword?
Who are you? What do you want? Is Bishek?
Who do you think we are? Franciscan brothers? We're here to rob you of everything you've got. Especially that fine blade that's of no use to a peasant like you anyway.
Banish the thought. It is my father's sword.
You mean him? I don't think he's going to be needing it anymore. Listen here, boy. You hand over that sword, I might just let you go. If not, you're in for a family reunion you really don't want.
Leave me alone.
Kill him, Runt! Aye, cut the bastard down.
As you like. Could have just cost you a few teeth.
Ah!
Curse it! Kurva! I'll
I told you how it would end. You should have listened to me. This is nice work. The chief is going to like it. It's new, isn't it? And now, for the maiden bloodletting. Surely your father never would have imagined it would be your blood. I believe there's a word for such moments. The old man would certainly know. Well, I'm just a common killer. Did you help make it? No doubt you did. Such miserable luck. To die by the sword you helped forge.
Hey, go fuckers!
games are over.
Charge! Disperse this rabble!
Rossz helyen vagy, rossz időben. Kibaszom. Mit fogsz nekem pityeregni? Gyere a többiért!
Do you need some help?
There's work to be done. Wake up, Henry. It's past sunrise.
Henry, can you hear me?
Get up, Henry. Wake up. It's a new day.
Henry, can you hear me? Hallelujah. I thought you'd never wake. Were you having a nightmare?
Teresa?
You still have a fever. Uncle won't be pleased, but you'll have to stay in bed.
Where am I? In Skalitz?
We're at my uncle's mill in Rattay. I didn't know where else to go.
What happened?
You don't remember anything? I suppose that's not surprising. I found you in Skalitz after those bandits attacked you. I thought they'd done for you, but you were still breathing. Why in heaven's name did you go back there? It was madness. They slaughtered everyone who didn't run.
My parents, I wanted to bury them. I had to...
Don't worry. I took care of it.
Thank you.
Any good Christian would have done the same. Now sleep. You need your strength back. You're awake.
Good morning.
It's near midnight. You've slept all day.
Oh. Oh, I feel like a horse fell on me.
The beating you took was worse. But at least the fever's broken.
Your Graces, I have to tell you in all seriousness that this land of ours is in the shit. Deep fucking shit. Don't you agree?
I might not have put it as eloquently as you, Hanush, but I've been driven out of my own castle, so I'm hardly going to disagree.
Indeed. But Pilchstein is yours for as long as you need it. There's room enough for your men and you here at Rattay, and I'm sure my ward won't have any objection to me lending you his castle.
I'd be honoured. Pechstein is at your disposal as long as you wish, Your Grace.
Just as well you have another castle at the other end of town, eh? At any rate, I'm beholden to you, Sir Hans, and to you, Sir Hanush.
I don't like to speak ill of your people, Sir Radzik, but, well, there's no love lost between the townsfolk and the refugees. There's been talk of criminality.
Well, they'll have to get used to it until the situation's resolved.
But when will it be resolved? And what on God's earth is this war even about? I won't lie, sir. I don't understand it.
You aren't alone, Father. I believe Sigismund's original intention was to persuade Wenceslas to accept the imperial crown and to leave the rule of Bohemia to him.
Who could blame him? I know Wenceslas is a friend of yours, Radzig, but even you have to admit he brought it upon himself.
I can't deny the king neglected affairs of state for other pursuits. There is a need for order in the land, but I don't think the lords who sided with Sigismund realized just what Hungarian order looks like.
Hungarian order?
What concerns me, sir, is how a good Christian could resort to such brutality.
To give him his due, I don't think he expected the lords of this country to stand behind the king. But thanks to him, we're tearing ourselves apart, and now he has to get things under control.
But why in God's name does he have to use those barbarians?
Money is the root of all evil, young sir. Wars are costly, and this one has dragged on for a year. Sigismund ran out of coin for knights, so he recruited those whore sons that settled in Hungary. The less he pays, the more they make up for it with plunder.
That's why he attacked us. He was after our silver.
What are you doing? You've no business here. Clear off.
Wait, it's Henry. Henry, who disappeared after I clearly ordered him to remain at Taunberg.
I'm sorry, sir, but I had to bury my parents.
Had to? Do you think you were the only man who lost someone there? But the others listened to their lord.
And it wasn't just your own life you nearly threw away. So Robard and his men risked theirs to save you.
I'm sorry, but I had to.
Oh, there you go. When you have to, Radzig.
Your father was a remarkable man, and your mother, She was remarkable too. They deserved a Christian burial. Did you manage that at least?
No. I was attacked by thieves. I wouldn't be here now if it wasn't for that girl.
Girl?
The miller's daughter, Teresa.
The miller's daughter saved you from the footpads? Well, there's a tale to tell your children.
I owe her my life. She distracted them and then brought me to Rattay. But without Sir Robard, we'd both be dead.
Oh, that's what I call a good woman. Hang on to that one, lad.
Still, it's a great shame your parents are buried in unconsecrated ground. That means purgatory for them.
Be quiet, Friar. I didn't invite you here to eat me out of house and home and deliver a sermon while you were doing it.
If you're so concerned, Father, maybe you should save the innocent souls of these fine Christians yourself. Go to Skalitz and consecrate their graves. I assure you, if you're killed by bandits, your soul will soar straight to heaven, as long as someone buries you in consecrated ground first.
If there's anything left to bury, that plump carcass of yours would be quite a feast for the wolves and the crows. And one skeleton looks much like another, so how would we know which were your ordained bones or those of Sigismund's Tartars?
Be that as it may, why have you come here?
I must get your sword back.
Sword? My sword hangs here at my side.
No, the sword my father forged for you. One of those thieves stole it from me.
They almost killed him and he already wants to go back.
Takes after his father, I suppose. Lad, I've lost a castle, a village, silver mines, and a good half of my subjects. Why would I miss one sword?
Because it's the last one my father forged, and I promised him I'd deliver it to you.
I understand. I'd feel the same way. But prudence is the better part of valor, and a dead man keeps no promises.
Aye. The woman had to save his fat from the fire, and now he wants revenge. What kind of fool are you, boy?
He's no fool. Henry, you have courage, but you need training, arms, a horse. Or do you mean to beat this thief at dice?
No, sir. Please, take me into your service and give me the chance to learn these things.
The gall of him. Fled from the enemy, disobeyed your orders, duped Sir Divish, lost your sword, put Sir Robard in danger with his actions, and now he wants a promotion.
Sir Capon's right.
What you say is certainly true, except for fleeing the enemy. You would have run as well. Believe me. Henry's earned some punishment, but how do you punish someone who's already lost everything? Courage and blind obedience are good qualities for a soldier, but a wise man also appreciates loyalty, perseverance, and determination. Besides, that was a fine sword that his father made. If he thinks he can get it back, I won't turn it down.
My lord, he's a peasant. You can't make a squire of a peasant.
Why not? Someone made a priest of a pig.
He isn't a peasant, Father. He's a blacksmith, and recent events have left me in need of his skills. So, you'd like to enter my service?
Sir, Yes, I would. You won't regret it.
I probably will. I'm doing this for your father, lad. Don't disappoint me.
Oh, fortune has finally smiled on you today, lad. Make the most of it.
Now that I think about it, Sir Hanush, the boy needs training and experience, and you need spear carriers.
That's true. The bailiff is always complaining about your people making trouble in the camp. Maybe one of their own among the guard might help.
It might. In any event, it will prove valuable experience.
But let's be clear. You're the one paying him. Captain Bernard, see to his training, and then send him to the bailiff.
Yes, sir.
And don't spare him.
You can rely on it, sir.
Don't forget, Henry. Don't disappoint me.
I won't, my lord.
And the canon of St. Wenceslas in Olomouc was so drunk, he dragged the pig to the market square, saddled it up, and rode it out of the town gate. No, we can see that this wasn't going to end well. So, Sir Peter and I rode off to look for the good canon on his pig.
Did you find him?
We tracked the filthy beast down to a sty beyond Cronau. I mean, The beast with a tonsure on its head. We never found the real pig, but the Reverend was sound asleep in the pigsty.
Birds of a feather stick together. It seems the same goes for pigs and prelates. I toast, gentlemen, to pigs and prelates.
God save their bacon.
Sir Hans, forgive my intrusion, but I need...
Oh, but what? You want to join us? Want to buy us around? I'm afraid we don't drink with peasants. You're not in your village now, boy.
No, sir. Curfew's been rung. The alehouse is closing.
Nothing closes while I'm sitting here. If that's all, you're dismissed.
Are you out of your mind, lad? You can't cross his lordship. He's got a temper like a bear with gut ache. If I was you, I'd get lost before he shows it.
The bailiff instructed me to close the tavern at the proper hour. He doesn't want anyone disturbing the peace after curfew.
The bailiff? The bailiff can kiss my arse. I trust you haven't forgotten who's the rightful lord of Rattay.
No, it's Sir Hannes.
Oh, is he here? What, is he he's hiding under the table, maybe? No! Then what he wants isn't worth a fart in a bathhouse. And besides, he's only in charge till I grow up.
Which clearly hasn't happened yet.
Enough! You can't talk to me like that. I'm a nobleman.
Come now, sirs. You're not going to fight here, are you?
We most definitely are. This yokel needs to be taught his place.
Crucifix! What in the name of Christ is happening here? Well, answer me, damn you!
This peasant insulted me. I had to teach him a lesson.
By rolling around in the mud like a hog? That's a fine example of noble conduct.
Sir Hannes, the bailiff ordered me
Silence!
to...
You shut your mouth and thank your lucky stars that you are Radzig's ward. Have you gone out of your mind? Raising your hand to a nobleman? And you, Hans, how many times have I told you that drinking with your subjects might be good for their morale, but it's bad for your honor? You spend all your days drinking and chasing wenches, which wouldn't matter if you paid any attention at all to your duties. And now we see what that leads to. Tomorrow, you will go with me to a hearing. Some landowners have asked me to settle a dispute. It'll be an excellent lesson for you.
I had planned to go hunting, but if you think listening to the pointless gripes of a bunch of old fools will benefit me, so be it.
Oh, hunting? Well then, Your Grace, I'll tell you what. You can go hunting.
Really?
Oh, naturally. Who am I to deprive the young Lord Capon of his sport? And you can take Henry here as your page.
Him? Absolutely not.
You'll do as I've commanded. It's time you learned how to lead people, and not just in drinking and brawling. Now get out of my sight.
Sir, I have responsibilities to the bailiff.
Not anymore. Your responsibilities now are to Lord Capon. It's time you learned how to behave in the presence of nobility. Let's go. Tell the kitchen I'm hungry. It's been a long journey.
So, are you enjoying being on the hunt?
I am, although we haven't actually hunted anything yet.
That doesn't matter. Hunting is a diversion. The main thing is to get out of Rattay for a while. Listening to Hanish's lectures all day long would drive anyone mad.
How come Hanish looks after you anyway?
For a start, he doesn't look after me. I'm not an infant blacksmith's boy. Hanish is just managing my property until I'm an adult.
When will that happen?
What are you implying?
Nothing. I didn't mean it like that. I meant that you seem quite adult to me already, sir.
Well, it's hard to say. Before he died, my father appointed a council of nobles to decide the matter. Only they can't be bothered travelling halfway across the country just to assess the claim of some stripling. Under normal circumstances, it wouldn't be necessary.
the king would decide on my adulthood. Only...
The king is gone?
Just so.
If I may ask, sir, what does a lord like you do all day?
When I was little, I was awfully bored, I can tell you. There was always some courtier or teacher dogging my footsteps. Now I spend most of my time trying to learn from Sir Hanush. Governing is no joke, at least most of the time. Only last week I had to listen to complaints from my subjects.
But that could be interesting too, couldn't it?
My lord, this yokel here empties his piss pot in my yard.
And sir, that old hag put a spell on my cow, and sir, my old woman is fucking half the village.
Like a flock of sheep, bleating all the time. Even study is more interesting.
What are we going to hunt?
Cumans.
What? Cumans? But...
You should see your face! I got you there. We'll see what we can get. But I'd like to bag a boar. One, at least. And a few hares, too, eh?
But what about you? Before I couldn't get a word out of you, now your tongue's loosened. So, tell me about Skalitz. I heard Sigismund had 100 banners there.
I don't know, sir. I didn't have time to count them. It's not easy for me to talk about, sir. My parents were killed right in front of my eyes.
Well, couldn't you do anything about it? I mean to say, didn't Radzig put up a defence?
They caught us unprepared. There was no time for anything. I wanted to save my parents, but I was too late.
All right, then. I was only asking.
I'm not a coward, if that's what you're getting at, sir.
I never said you were.
And I'd never let anyone call me one. Not even a noble.
More honour to you. Well, never mind. Anyway, it's too late to go anywhere today. But tomorrow we set off at first light. Got it?
Yes, sir.
You want to take him down with an arrow?
Certainly. Why wouldn't I?
You won't kill him like that. Boar is hunted with spears.
Is that so? So now all of a sudden you're a master huntsman, are you? Watch and learn.
Did you see that?
Damn, I'm good. Quiet. So, next time you try to tell me I can't kill a boar with an arrow, you can... Fuck. After him. Fetch. Mount up, Henry. We're going to chase down that swine. Yeah. Yeah.
Henry! Henry! I'll have a bronze bust made of you, my friend. But where have you been till now?
Oh, you know, I was picking berries, had a drink of wine, took a little nap.
You lunatic! They almost had me roasting on a spit.
I'd say it looked more like they were about to take your maidenhood.
Now look here, dung grubber. Is that any way to speak to a nobleman?
I apologise, sir. I'm just glad you're all right.
I'm yanking your pizzle, you dolt! Thank you for rescuing me.
That wound doesn't look good, Sir Hans.
You're right. Those Cuman swine roughed me up a bit. And my damned horse has bolted. You'll have to get me home somehow.
The sooner we get out of here, the better. Who knows how many bandits are creeping around here.
Let's go, then. I've had quite enough excitement already.
It's Lord Capon.
Get here, everybody! You, help him!
How is it possible, Ratsy? Those bastards make so bold no more than a mile from the castle. We'll have to send out more patrols.
That won't do us any good, Hanush. Even if we had 10 times the men, we couldn't beat through every thicket in the fiefdom.
You sent for me, sir?
Come in.
I don't know how to thank you, Henry. If it wasn't for you, Hans would be dead. And to think I sent you out with him as a punishment.
I was only doing my duty, sir.
Don't be so modest, young Henry. You showed not only courage, but loyalty to your liege. That's why I'm taking you into my personal service.
Sir, thank you, sir.
Well, let's celebrate your promotion and Sir Hans's recovery. Well, don't just stand there, lad. Pour us a drink.
I'm sorry to interrupt, sir, but I've urgent tidings.
What now?
A stable boy came from Neuhof. He says brigands raided the stud farm this morning. There's many dead or maimed.
Tell us exactly what happened.
I'm not sure. The boy was so shook up he could barely speak. He said the bandits murdered for the joy of it. I'm sorry, sir. Your vassal Smill is dead.
Who did this? Who were they?
We don't know, sir. The stable boy just kept babbling about some huge fellow in black armor who led the attack.
Take as many men as you need, and don't stop until you've found those bastards. And bring me their heads!
Yes, sir.
My men at your disposal too, Hanush.
Thank you, friend.
Sir, let me ride with them.
He's full of piss and vinegar, isn't he?
Their leader, he must be the one who attacked me at Skalitz. There can't be 2 men in the whole kingdom who look like that.
You think he might still have my sword? No doubt you could use another swordsman, Captain.
As you command, my lord.
How soon can you leave, Bernard?
Soon as the men are ready, sir.
Good. Wait in the courtyard for Henry. And give him a horse.
His own mount?
His reward for saving Sir Hans. He'll need it.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Well, go! I want these culprits in the hands of the executioner as soon as possible.
I won't let you down, sir.
Let's give you a quick search. Well?
Where's your master?
In the paddock.
Crucifix? What kind of beast could do this?
By the blood of the martyrs. What happened here? Why?
Someone came at night and hamstrung every one of them. The horses, screaming, must have woke poor Ruddock, the stable boy. And when he tried to stop them... And then my husband, when my husband tried to help them, they killed him too. And when they were done, they put a torch to the stables.
My sincere condolences, ma'am. I swear we'll hunt those monsters down and make them pay for this.
The horses were still alive when I came. We had to finish them off. All of them. The pain in their eyes. They couldn't understand how anyone could do this to them.
Did they steal anything? Any horses?
Nothing. They wanted blood, not coin.
Did your husband quarrel lately? Was there anyone who might want revenge?
He argued over the price of a saddle, maybe, but nothing that could drive a man to this.
These are dark days when there's more kindness in horses than in men. Did you see anything? How many were there? Or what did they look like?
We saw no one.
Has anyone tried to follow the trail?
No. We were fighting the blaze until now, and even if we weren't, what chance would any of us have against someone who could do this?
A pox on it. Mount up and quarter the area. We have to find out where they went. Look for tracks and ask the folk if they saw anyone. Fuck! Someone must have at least caught sight of them.
Yes, sir. What about me, Captain?
What the hell use are you? You stay here.
Please, let me do something. I could have a look around the area and see if they left any tracks.
Well, if you must. Just don't get in anyone's way. Don't go too far, and come back here when you're done.
Jesus Christ, what am I to do? Not that I can expect any useful advice from you. At least, you've no more cares.
Need someone to talk to?
Fuck! Don't kill me. I can explain. I won't tell anyone. I swear, I've no one to tell anyway. Just please don't kill me.
I'm not planning to kill you.
You're not one of Runt's men?
No.
Huh. Then who are you?
I come here in the name of Sir Radzig Kabila and Sir Hanish of Leipa. I'm investigating the raid on the Neuhof stud farm.
Got no idea what you're on about.
Save your breath. If you want any chance to escape the gallows, you better come clean, all right?
Jesus Christ. This will never be over.
So?
Fine then.
That Neuhof raid of yours didn't turn out quite as planned, did it?
Depends on whose plan you're talking about. We were up to it to grab some loot and bugger off. Only Runt's cutthroats was there to shed blood.
What do you mean, Runt's cutthroats?
There were two gangs there. Mine and Runt's. We was only there to steal, but they wanted to slaughter everyone.
But when you realised what they had in mind, you didn't have to go along with it, did you?
But we didn't know nothing, even though we were going to Neuhof. They told us to keep watch on the courtyard while they were cutting the horses' throats. Jesus, that fucking vexed me. Their horses was the most valuable thing there. When I spoke up, though, Runt gave me such a bollocking I knew I'd better keep my mouth shut. And when they said we was going to kill anything that moved, then we knew there was no going back.
That gang of yours, what can you tell me about them?
Don't know what you want to know. There was 4 of us. Me, Timmy, Limpy Lubosh, and Pius Pava. Sometimes we'd rob a place or hold up pilgrims. Never nothing fancy.
I'm sure you did mischief enough. Who led you?
Pius. He was the oldest, and he'd mostly find the jobs for us. Plan them and the like. He got us into that fucking mess in Neuhof, too.
What about the others?
Timmy's strong as an ox, with a brain to match. You got more sense out of a fence post. And Limpy, I've been with him the longest. He's my one and only friend, I suppose.
Who got your two gangs together? You must have made contact somehow, right?
Pius. He comes to us and says he's got this prime job. We're gonna rob a farm, he says. That was a big deal, because mostly we just did small stuff. Hold up on the road now and then, nothing fancy. When they told us how much we could make on it, well, we just couldn't refuse.
So Pius knew them?
I suppose, but I don't know where from. We even got paid up front. I should have known from the start it was too good to be true.
Where did the rest of your gang end up?
You saw Limpy, right?
Yes, but he's no use to me now. Tell me where I can find Pius or Timmy.
I don't know nothing about Pius. He vanished in the woods, and I haven't seen him since. Timmy, I reckon, went back to the mill where he works.
Which mill?
The windmill a bit north of Neuhof.
Did you know any of Runt's people?
Not a one. They didn't talk to us at all. None of their faces was familiar either. The only thing I know is they called that huge chief of theirs Runt, and Pius warned us to watch out for him.
I don't suppose you know where they got to after the raid?
On the way to Neuhof, Timmy told me he was at their camp with Pius. I reckon that's where they've gone now.
Did Timmy tell you where the camp is?
Somewhere in the woods. He didn't say nothing more. Thing is, Timmy's got quite an imagination. But Pius roared at him to shut it, so I reckon there must be something in it.
Tell me exactly how the raid went down.
Well, we stormed in from the rear. Runt's people started slaughtering the horses. Jesus, that was bleeding horrible. Meanwhile, me and Limpy had a sniff round the stables to see if we could find anything worth pilfering. And in the end, we got lucky.
What did you find?
Smill, Sir Hanish's groom. I don't know why he was up and what he was doing in the stables, but we took advantage of the situation. Limpy grabs him by the throat and I slapped him round to encourage him to tell us where the money was. Then it all fell apart at the seams. Quicker than you'd believe. Runt comes running up and skewers the groom like a pig for roasting. My jaw dropped. I thought the stuff about killing was just tough talk.
And it wasn't?
No, not in the least.
What happened then?
I'm gaping at Smill, stuck through and through, and I noticed this boy standing at the other end of the stables. The stupid sod's pointing at us, jaw hanging down to his knees, saying, "I know you." Runt turns to us and hisses, "Take him down." So me and Lubosh start running, because the lad took to his heels. At the same time, we could hear the noise of the skirmish in the courtyard. We caught up with the boy at the next farmhouse. Knock him to the ground, but he bashes me with some piece of iron so hard my head's ringing like a fucking church bell. Limpy grabs it off him and stands over him with his bodkin in his hand, and I start praying. In the end, Limpy just gives him a kick and says, "Beat it, Ginger." And then Runt shows up at the gate and hollers that we gotta go, so we scarp it.
What happened after the raid?
We were waiting for that fool, Timmy. Same place as we met them before, so he'd know where we were, right? Stupid fucking idea. But Pius didn't want to leave him behind. Only when Timmy finally turned up, 2 of Runt's men were dragging him.
There was some difference of opinion?
You could say that, yeah. They started on us right away that we were traitors. They knew we'd let somebody get away, and now we were going to pay for it. They started trying to surround us, and we knew what was coming. But Limpy took his bodkin and let that fucker have it in the belly.
Runt?
One of the others. Timmy broke free from them and we all took to our heels. Luckily, they were so buggered from the raid they didn't follow us for long. They just shouted that they'd find us.
That's all I need to know. So now what do I do with you?
Well?
Hey, over here! It's up the hill. Shh. Chief, we found the cave. Shut up, he'll hear you.
Oh, shit. Runt's people. We've got to get out of here.
They're too close. We'll never outrun them.
Fuck!
At least they don't know I'm here. The two of us can take them by surprise.
No fucking way. I'm gone.
Look here. If you run, they'll catch up with you and kill you. And me too. Together, we stand a better chance.
Jesus Christ. All right. I suppose you're right.
Sir Edzing.
I'm glad to see you, Captain Robart. I hope Henry's explained everything to you.
He did, but I find it hard to believe. Who could possibly put together such a significant military force, and right under our noses?
We'll just have to find out, but I don't think we will until after a battle. If we don't deal with them now, who knows what they'll be capable of in a week or two.
I agree entirely, my lord. What's the plan?
Right, lad. We're almost at the place you described. Now we'll have to advance cautiously. I need you to tell me how it looks around the camp, so I can decide which side to lead the attack from.
Sir, that's a big responsibility. I don't think I should...
I asked you a question, boy. You've been there and seen everything, so speak up.
There are 3 ways to get in. Directly along the straight path to the camp, the long way round through the woods and over an old weir, or by a narrow bridge over a deep ditch.
Let's start with the direct route. That sounds like the easiest approach. How does it look there?
That path leads round their battlements. It's fortified and patrolled. The chances are they'd shower us with arrows on the way.
It's a good thing you're here, Henry. We'll have to try another way then. What about the approach through the woods and the weir? I don't like the idea of marching such a long way over rough ground, but if it's the better option...
It's a long way through the woods, and there are patrols there as well. They'll call the alarm before we reach the camp.
I thought so. What about the last approach, over the bridge? It's a bit narrow for my liking.
It's narrow, all right, but once we get over, we can quickly occupy the best ground for a battle. We only have to take down a few archers.
The battleground sounds inviting, but that bridge and the archers... It's not an easy decision. Each option has its pros and cons.
Well, I try to answer to the best of my ability, sir.
And you'll be suitably rewarded for your efforts. From what you say, the route over the bridge is the best option. If we're fast, we'll have the advantage. With the help of God, we'll win this day.
Stand your ground, you dogs! Drive them back! I will cleave you in two, you bastard.
You tried before, and yet here I am.
What? Who the hell are you?
You don't remember me? I remember you, though. Now where's my fucking sword?
What the fuck are you on about? What sword? Hang on. You're the... Fuck me. I thought we left you to the crows. Tough little fucker, eh?
What did you do with my sword?
Judging by our last encounter, I'd say you made a big mistake coming here.
Where's my fucking sword?
But then again, maybe you've had some practice. I hope so. Because last time was too easy. Not bad for a peasant brat.
It's not over yet, you scum.
And where's my sword? What have you done with it? Talk, you bastard!
I'll see you in hell.
Tell me, do you hear me? Tell me what you've done with it!
I'd say you're flogging a dead horse there.
You took him down. On your own. Well done. Nice work. You surprised me. He was a mountain of a man.
He was the one who attacked Neuhof. And stole your sword, sir.
The thought did cross my mind. What did he tell you? If we'd taken him alive, the executioner might have gotten more out of him. Oh well, these things happen in the heat of battle. Anyway, we found a trunk full of coin down below. Someone was paying this gang very well. And there were some of Sigismund's barbarians among them. I don't think we've seen the last of this. Whoever engineered it was highly placed. They won't give up after one defeat. This louse was just a pawn.
I'm afraid you're right, sir. Well, lad, we live to fight another day, eh? That's the fear leaving you, lad. Let it go. Now, put it all behind you. A decent Christian shouldn't dwell on such horrors.
I beg to differ, sir. I never want to forget this. The time has come for those whoresons to pay for what they did to us.
You're right, my boy. But first, we all need some rest. We'll meet later in the upper castle in Rattay and then decide what to do next. But come what may, you did a good job today.
I will make you pay for this. It's time for the next part of our plan. Give the word.
Yes, sir.
My lord, I'm afraid you were right when you said these hostilities wouldn't end at Probislavitz.
That comes as no surprise.
What has happened?
My men reported 2 more attacks today.
Ah, Henry. I'm glad you're here. It seems like we'll have another task for you. Come and join us.
My lord.
Greetings, lad.
The bandits raided a few remote hamlets, but that's the least of our worries. They also attacked Merhoyed, and that's a much more serious matter.
Merhoyed? Matthias is working there.
They attacked right after the battle in Probislavitz. Bastards were probably trying to prove they're still strong. But there's a silver lining. The villagers held them off, and they even took 1 captive. He's wounded, but we can still interrogate him.
Your Graces, I hope I'm not intruding.
On the contrary, Master Tobias. Unlike Bernard, you are the bearer of good tidings. Or so I gather from the coin you carry. Tell me, how many groschen did we find in Probislavitz?
My lord, I'm sorry, but my news is no better than Captain Bernard's. These coins are very good. That is to say, well-made facsimiles, as we call them.
What? I don't give a what you call them. I want to know what they're facking worth.
That's just it, sir. They're worth nothing.
Are you saying what I think you're saying, Master Tobias? This here
is just a pile of copper.
Kurva! Fuck!
Plated with silver, so it's still of some worth.
Kurva! Fuck!
Is it a lot of work to make such counterfeits, Master Tobias?
I should say so, sir. Highly demanding work. Especially to make such plausible forgeries. They would need a well-hidden foundry, several craftsmen, and a source of material.
But they could just be brought in from somewhere else, could they not?
Well, they could, but then again, the silver mines are nearby, and these groschens seem freshly minted, so...
So we are facing a foe who has almost limitless sources of coin. That's all we need.
Doppledel.
Well, gentlemen, it's clear what we have to do. Interrogate that captive bandit, find out their numbers, and promptly cut off their supply of money. Otherwise, they'll soon have another encampment.
If they haven't already.
But I doubt it, sir. Merhayed wouldn't have been able to hold them off if they did.
Well, lad, I said we'd have work for you, but it never crossed my mind there would be this much. You've already proved your worth as an investigator, so I'm putting my faith in you again. Go to Merhayed and question that captive. Find out where those brigands are hiding, how many there are, and what they're planning. And while you're at it, see if you can find some clues as to where this counterfeit coin is coming from.
Very well, sir.
Good luck. We're counting on you. All of us. Come report to me as soon as you know anything. I'll be at the lookout point near Talmberg.
Prisoner.
And why is that? Who might you be?
Henry, envoy of Saradzik Kobala. I'm here to investigate the attack.
I'm sorry. I have other things on my mind right now. In case you hadn't noticed, we have pestilence raging here. And Saradzik won't help us with that, any more than he helped us when we were attacked.
No one could have known what would happen.
If Saradzik hadn't pissed off into the woods and stayed in the camp, they would never have dared attack us.
If Saradzik hadn't gone into the woods, he'd have left so many to attack here that you'd never have fought them off.
It makes no odds now. We've a different problem to deal with.
If there's anything I can do, just tell me.
There's a stable hand living with us here, Matthias.
Yes, I know him.
And he knows some girl who helps out in the monastery infirmary. Johanka, I think her name is. She might know someone to turn to, if she's actually there.
I think I have it.
Yes? And what do you make of it?
It's poisoning from tainted water.
Really? That sounds rather unlikely. But if Master Johann of St. Paul's says so, who am I to contradict him? We shall have to prepare some medicine at once.
I could help with that.
Really?
Yes. I know my way around the alchemistic arts.
An ordinary fellow who knows the arts of physic? Who would have thought it? Excellent. I'll give you the recipe, and you have my permission to make use of the monastery laboratory.
I'll get started right away.
I, meanwhile, shall head straight to, where was it again?
Merhayed.
Oh, yes, Merhayed. I'll take Johanka with me. She has no equal in caring for the sick. Once you have the medication ready, hurry after me.
Thank you, Brother Nicodemus.
Welcome back to the land of the living.
Who are you?
That's not your concern. I'm the one asking questions here.
A man after my own heart. You'll have an easy job with me, boy.
How so?
I won't give you any problems.
That's sensible of you.
I'm a sensible man. Only I'd like to get it over quick and not keep the Rattay executioner busy too long, if you catch my drift.
I understand.
What do you want to know?
Everything. First, tell me who's behind all this. Who do you follow?
I follow the coin, lad. We all do.
That's not news to me, but who pays the coin?
I got my pay from Runt, like all the men in Pribyslavitz. And Runt got his money from the chief. And the chief had the coin minted.
Who's the chief? The bandit leader?
Bandit? If he heard you say that, he'd have your head on a spike. That's the kind of man he is. Nobody knows much about him, though. Only that he ain't Czech.
So he's a foreigner? German?
Don't think so. For sure he ain't Czech. And he's got plenty of coin. I'd stake my neck on it. He's got noble blood in his veins.
Judging by how he looks?
More by the way he talks. Any man can dress up like nobility, but he spoke all la-di-da like a lord.
Where's that chief of yours now?
I've no idea. After Pribyslavitz, he ordered us to raid Merhoyed, but he wasn't with us. He went off who knows where. I don't reckon he'll be out of your hair for long, though.
So the chief is in command of all these operations?
You could say. I'd say you're looking at it all wrong, though.
How's that?
You ask who's in charge and who answers to who, only this ain't some noble court. There was all sorts of gangs in Pribyslavitz, big and small. Robber barons who had their own brigades calling them my lord, and common footpads who hadn't a pot to piss in. Men came, men went. Lots of squabbles, the occasional murder. Old cronies and old rivals were meeting. You know what I mean?
I suppose so.
It was one big muddle. The main thing was nobody asked questions. I didn't give a damn who the chief was or what he had in mind or whether he had one ball or two. All I was interested in was the coin.
Uh-huh. How did you know about Pribyslavitz? Who took you there?
A fellow by the name of Moorcock. We met near Kuttenberg. I was robbing burghers who were fleeing the town from Sigismund's army. We got to talking and he told me about Pribyslavitz.
Why did you attack Merhoyed?
The chief himself gave us the order. I reckon he wanted to show the local lords he was nowhere near finished.
So he's planning more raids?
The chief's always planning something. Pribyslavitz was only the start.
So you knew the coin was counterfeit?
Course I did. I brought those groschen to Pribyslavitz, along with a few other things.
Did you? And where did the forgeries come from?
Like, where were they made? I don't know. Some merchant by the name of Menhart gave them to me. We used to meet at the charcoal piles near Rovna, by the crossroads there. As it happens, I'm supposed to be meeting him there about now.
So Menhart's waiting there?
Might be, might not. He could have heard what happened in Pribyslavitz and decided not to show.
And does this Menhart know where the coin comes from?
How should I know? To me, he's just another link in the chain. I deal with him, and I never ask who he deals with. Just like he knows nothing about me.
I see. So I suppose there's no point asking you if you know any more about him.
It'd be a waste of breath. All he did was give me the coin, and then we went our separate ways.
Who else knows about the money?
Apart from the chief, Menhart, Runt and me, there was a few others. The men got some real money too, with the false stuff. It'd be suspicious if they only had freshly minted coin.
You said you used to bring other things. What were they?
Letters. Menhart would give them to me for the chief. This time I was taking an answer back to Menhart too.
Have you still got that letter?
Aye. The yokels round here ain't got much interest in correspondence, apparently.
Give it to me then.
I'd be delighted.
What were the letters about?
If I knew how to read, I wouldn't be trusted to carry letters, would I? I took them from Menhart to the chief and back. That's all.
That's all I need to know for now.
For now, for the love of Christ, boy, don't let the executioner interrogate me. I've already told you everything I know.
That's for Sir Radzig to judge.
Henry! I think old Straw's come for the brigand. Step back from that Eden, young fella!
But you can't kill me! Not just like that!
Shut the fuck up, you weasel, and keep it fucking shut! You don't even get a say!
Calm down, Straw. He won't escape justice. After all, he's...
Don't stand in my way, Melikar!
Let Henry decide. He's the one who saved his life.
As it is in
Amen.
What?
So, you've been looking for us, eh? What is it you want?
I hear you're hiring men who don't mind getting their hands dirty.
Is that so? And where did you hear that?
Taverns and the like. People talk.
Well, that's a pretty tale. But no one in any tavern told you to come here and wait, did they? So let's have it. Who told you?
The bailiff's man told me about you. The one who runs the fight club in the quarry.
Did he now? Well, I hope you trounced him. Bastard took my money at dice.
If you want, I can give him a proper hiding, just to show you I'm serious.
Spare me the boasting. I've got a test ready for you. Let's see how you handle it before you tell us how wonderful you are.
What test?
Nothing complicated. We used to take anyone who looked like they could keep their head on straight. But not now. Now you can only join if you do what we tell you.
Which is what? Steal something?
Nah, not theft. If you want to join us, you have to kill Pius.
I'll have to find him first.
You don't need to find him. We know where he is.
Then why haven't you killed him yourselves?
It's quite a test. He's hiding in a monastery.
With the stable boys? It's not hard to get into the grounds.
No, not there. Well, he would have been dead long since. He's in the, cloister, or whatever it is.
But only monks can get in there.
Just monks and Pius. He's an educated bastard. Seems he used to be a priest, but it didn't quite work out.
Who's Pius, and why should I kill him?
That's none of your business. But I'll tell you anyway, because it's an instructive tale. Pius was one of us, but he fucked up.
How? Did he steal something?
Yeah, that was part of it. Stole some money, ran away. A few boys died over it. Showed a distinct lack of loyalty. And as soon as he's dead, you can join us.
And how am I supposed to get into the cloister?
You'll think of something. Maybe there's a secret passage. I've heard there's some cave underneath. The cave of St. Procopius. There might be a way into it from outside.
And do you have any other ideas besides secret passages?
Well, there is this one fellow been hanging around the taverns. Supposed to join the monastery soon. Might be he could help you somehow. I'd try talking to him if I were you. And if he doesn't help, knock him on his ass and take anything he's got that you could use to pass yourself off as him. A letter of admittance to the monastery, or whatever.
How will I recognize Pius?
He won't have been there long. He should be the only new one there.
But what if there are others? What does he look like?
Normal. He always went about well dressed and had a fine looking dagger.
Yes, except he'll be given a robe and they'll take his knife.
Then you'll have to try and figure out which one of the novices it is, and get him to betray himself. Try getting him drunk, then send him straight to hell.
Get him drunk? In a monastery?
Where better? There's more wine there than in the royal cellars, and I doubt he'll suddenly stop drinking.
Fine. So I've got to kill Pius. He's in the cloister, and to get into the cloister, I'll need to enlist the help of some boy who's joining the order, right?
More or less. And now the main thing.
The main thing is to kill him, isn't it?
Of course. But that's not all. All hell's gonna break loose in the monastery after the murder. So, either make sure nobody finds him, or hightail it out of there quick as soon as the job's done. But better if they don't find him right away.
And what else? Should I come back here afterwards?
No. Before you run for it, take his special dice and bring it as proof that you killed him. And if you can get him to tell you where he hid the coin, bring that as well.
Bring his dice and the money if I find it. And where should I bring it?
From the monastery, head east across the river. There'll be a swamp where you'll find a fire pit. Go there at night and light a fire. Make it nice and big and we'll show up. Take the dice and the money, and then tell you where to report. Got it?
Right, I'm to slip into the best guarded place in the entire region and kill someone. Take his dice and money, and then go to the swamp and wait by the fire.
Yeah, that's the idea.
Well, you can at least say a few Hail Marys for me. I'm gonna need all the help I can get.
And remember, we'll be keeping tabs. So don't you try to run off, alright? Take care.
Brothers in Christ, we have gathered here today to welcome a new novice into our midst. Dear brother, forget your former life and embrace your new vocation in the community of the monks of St. Benedict. Opus Dei, obedientia, obprobria, the service of God, obedience, and endurance of all discomfort. These are the cornerstones and succor of our order, which on this day shall become your own. Suscipe me, Domine, secundum eloquium tuum, et vivam. Et non confundas me ab expectatione mea.
Suscipe me, Domine, secundum in loquium tuum vivam, et non confundas me ab expectatione mea.
Accept your new name, Brother Gregor, and wear it with honor. Welcome, brother.
So much the more ought the punishment for sin make us avoid evil words. Therefore, since the spirit of silence is so important, permission to speak should rarely be granted even to perfect disciples, even though it be for good, holy, edifying conversation. For it is written, "In much speaking you will not escape sin." And in another place, "Death and life."
You've got a strong constitution. Anyone else would have certainly died.
What happened?
Let me tell you a little story. Once upon a time, there was a young boy. He was lost and miserable. He had no future. He was tempted by his friends into doing some foolish things, but he wasn't truly bad, because when it came down to it, he ran away rather than keep doing foolish deeds. His former friends didn't take kindly to that, though, and wanted to punish him. So they sent a hunting dog to find him and rip his throat. The boy wasn't stupid, though, and he knew that the hound was coming. He poisoned some food, and when the hound showed up, he gave it to him. He didn't expect the beast to live, but it did. And all of a sudden, the boy was sorry for what he tried to do. So he offered to make a bargain with the hound.
It was you that poisoned me.
Don't take it personally. Kill or be killed. You know, we're both pawns in someone else's game. They have plans for us, but we don't have to let them use us. We can just forget all about it and go our own way. I was a bandit, and I was at Nyhoff. I've robbed and stolen, but I swear to God I've never in my life slain innocent people. What I saw at Nyhoff made me realize my life was worth shit, but I still had a chance to change for the better. Here in the monastery I've had plenty of time to think things over, but then you showed up and fucked it all up.
So the evildoer changes his ways and finds God. And what exactly are you proposing?
Both of us can leave this place. You can go back to your people, and I can go somewhere where I can live out my life in peace and no one will try to kill me. If we work together, we can both get what we want.
But the people who sent me will find out if I don't kill you.
They won't if we're clever about it. No one has to die. Before we make a run for it, we'll make it look like someone's killed me. Loads of blood, a tattered scrap of my habit, and footprints leading towards the river. No one will bother looking for my body there. There we'll split up. You go for your bounty, and I'll get as far away from here as I can.
Good. Let's do it your way.
Good. I'm glad that despite our initial discord, we could reach an agreement. Here, take something to calm your stomach. Now we'll need the keys to the monastery and some blood to make the tracks.
Morning, sunshine. Hope we didn't wake you.
Kurva! Did you have to sneak up on me like thieves?
We are thieves. Besides, we had to make sure you weren't followed, or trying to lead us into a trap. But enough of this chit-chat. Let's get down to business. We heard there was some trouble at the monastery. Question is, was it the right sort? Did you do that job we agreed?
Do you think I'd be sitting here if I didn't do it?
How should I know? The world's full of idiots.
It's done.
You've got proof?
He had nothing on him. No coin, not a thing.
So you wrung his neck and found nothing on him? That's a disappointment, ain't it?
I had nothing either. All the novices have to hand everything over once they enter the monastery.
Right. So you don't even know if you wrung the right guy's neck. I'm wondering if you wrung anyone's neck at all.
Just go there and ask around. Everyone will tell you about the murder.
Or I'll walk straight into an ambush, more like. Forget it, boy. I have a much better idea.
Nothing good.
After everything that's happened, you have even worse news. That's almost impressive.
I'm afraid so. It's going to happen again, and on an even bigger scale.
You're full of good cheer, aren't you? What exactly will happen?
It seems the poopSMASH encampment was just the start, and they're far from defeated.
How did you find out?
I found a recruiting agent who worked for them, and let him recruit me.
Ah, God's holy hat. You never cease to surprise me, lad.
And what did you find out?
They have another much bigger encampment in Vranic near to Sasau.
What do those bastards want? And who the hell are they?
To hurt us? Conquer the region? I'm not sure yet, but I can find out.
How?
I'm one of them now. I have their secret sign. I know where their camp is. All I have to do is go and take a look.
That's out of the question. It's too risky.
Sire, compared to everything I went through to get this, it will be child's play. I already passed their test. They trust me.
Then we'll have to attack them before things get out of hand. Ideally, right now, when they're not expecting us. Once we catch that mangy little shit, we can ask him nicely what he wants. But then again, before we attack, it would be useful to have a spy go and scout out how many of them there are and what they're up to.
I don't want you to take any unnecessary risks.
It's much less risky than our raid on poopSMASH.
All right then, Hal. Go there and find out how many of them there are, and what their plans are, whatever you can. But don't stick your neck out too far.
Yes, sir.
Godspeed, lad.
Sir, may I...
What is it?
I went to the fight master as you ordered, and I...
What's the matter? Lost your tongue?
I think I know what's troubling the young master. He's surprised to see me here. And the feeling's mutual. When did you start recruiting Radzig's people, Eric?
Radzig?
Indeed. This boy is very dear to him. And I expect he's looking for this?
You bastard.
He's coming round.
I apologize for the discomfort, but it's for your own safety. And ours, of course. You can count yourself lucky, lad. I'm gonna keep you alive. I'm sure your father will pay a nice fat ransom for you.
My father's dead. That lackey of yours wouldn't even let me bury him.
He doesn't know, Eric. Nobody told him. They told me, a foreigner, but not him. How very inconsiderate. I'm sure you'd rather hear it under different circumstances and from someone else, boy. But beggars can't be choosers. Your father, your real father, is alive. You even know him. It's your liege lord, Radzig Kobyla. Although, how much can he really care about you? Here you are, a homeless orphan, and he still hasn't acknowledged you. Your parents are both dead, aren't they? I thought so. And yet, Radzig still hasn't told you the truth. Could it be that he's ashamed of you? I wonder if you'll want to pay that ransom after all. Well, best not think about that. If your father won't pay your ransom, you have no value to me.
My father's dead.
I understand why you feel that way. My own childhood was not dissimilar. How strange that we should have something in common. But I've delayed long enough. Now it's time for you to tell me why you came here.
I was looking for my father's sword, which was stolen by a certain bastard.
And I found it. But I wonder which father you mean. In a way, it belongs to both.
Doesn't matter who it belongs to. I'm gonna kill you with it. Ah!
You're hardly in a position to threaten me. But now I think of it, why not? When your father, your real father, pays, I'll give you an opportunity to try.
I think that's very generous of you.
Isn't it?
Radzig will crush you. And I'll be there to see it.
I very much doubt it. You spied on our camp. You must realize that your father hasn't a fraction of the forces I've gathered. And now, with the king in captivity, there's no one to levy troops to come to your aid. Even united with Hanush and Divish, your father couldn't raise more men than I have. The only force in this country capable of defeating me is Sigismund's. And he pays me. When he wins, I win. Everything I take now will be mine, and I plan to take everything. So meet the new Lord of the Realm.
A man like you will never rule here.
Have you never heard of Lord Sokol of Lamberg, or Sahinek the Dry Devil? They fought for your king and plundered the estates of the lords in Austria, just as I'm doing here. Like they say, the stronger dog fucks the bitches. And war is a nasty business.
Sir, it's time.
Now, I'm afraid I have more important business to attend to. I'll leave Udo here to keep you company. And let's hope for both our sakes that your father pays up. Farewell.
Rot in hell!
Knock some manners into him, Udo. Come on, Eric, let's go. We've got work to do.
Henry, wake up. Can you hear me? Jesus, that brutally worked you over. Here. Try to drink. I thought you'd never come round.
How do you know my name?
Don't you recognize me?
Zbyszek. You fucking traitor. You throw me to those bastards, and then look me in the eye like nothing happened.
Shh! Quiet. Maybe we started off on the wrong foot. But I'm your only chance to get out of here alive. So do you want my help or not?
Any word about your boy, Radzig?
Nothing yet.
Let's hope he hasn't done anything rash. Wouldn't surprise me, given the balls that he has. Now, I wonder where he might have got those from.
Don't start, Hanush.
I'm sorry, sir. This fellow...
Henry!
Father?
I told you he had balls.
Well, I see that you haven't been idle, and we'll certainly need to have a talk later, but not quite so publicly. It looks like you have plenty to tell us. What happened?
I got a bit tied up at Vranyik. But now I know what they're planning.
What's being planned? And who's planning it? Spit it out, boy!
There's no longer any doubt about it. It's that Hungarian noble you were hosting on the same day Sigismund pillaged Skalitz.
Sir Istvan Toth.
Toth and his people. Everything fits. They're the ones making the counterfeit money and using it to hire mercenaries from all around. He's already got quite an army at Vranyik.
But what the fuck is he after?
I can tell you exactly, and you won't like it.
How's that?
I had quite a long talk with him.
What?
When I was trying to get into his camp, I was taken captive. We had a bit of a chat. Actually, he told me his entire plan.
What?
I suppose he thought he didn't need to keep it secret any longer. I'm not all that surprised.
Why not?
What's that bastard planning?
He's in the service of Sigismund. He wants to destroy King Wenceslas' allies. That means us. He's gathered a very large force. I'm honestly not sure if we can defeat them. And he knows no one will come to our aid now.
That fucking cunt! I'll skin him alive!
How many men has he got?
More than 100, I'd say.
And how secure is their camp?
It's an old abandoned fortress on a hill above Sasau. It's inaccessible from 3 sides, surrounded by a timber palisade.
Bastard! I'll crush that rebel of his!
That's easy to say, old friend. It seems Toth isn't taking any chances.
Together with Divish, we can muster enough men. And we can all see there's no time to waste. That bastard wants a battle? Much better we pick a time and place than he does.
Undoubtedly. We have to take them by surprise. It would be best to attack tomorrow night. We can't get ready any sooner.
That's what I like to hear, Radzig.
Henry, I want you to get yourself fixed up and then go straight to Sir Divish of Talmberg. Tell him to assemble all the able-bodied men he can and bring them to Vranig tomorrow evening. We'll wait for him there.
Yes, sir.
Finally, a chance to show I'm not carrying a sword just for ornament.
I'll go and get ready to ride out.
I mean, I guess him being my...
Good meal inside you and get those wounds tended to. You look wretched. And if you need equipment or armor, tell Bernard. He'll give you what you need.
Yes, my lord.
No more, my lord. I'm your father. I swear, Hal, I plan to tell you. I'm sorry Istvan, of all people, beat me to it. But now we have more urgent matters to deal with. Later we'll have time to talk about it. What do you say?
As you wish, my lord. Father.
Good. Now go to Divish as quickly as you can, son.
Sir, I bring an urgent message from my father... from Sir Radzig and Hanush.
I take it you've heard. What does your father want from me?
I found out who's behind all the unrest in the region, and... Father and Hanush have decided to put an end to it all.
What? So who is responsible for all our recent troubles?
You may have met him. Istvan Toth.
No, I haven't met him. But Sir Radzig said he'd been here to visit before the raid. I don't suppose that's a coincidence. What kind of man is he? What is he after?
He's in the service of King Sigismund, and he's fighting the nobility who support King Wenceslas. They've amassed quite a force at the old stronghold above Sasau, and they're planning to attack very soon. Father and Hanush have decided to move first and destroy him before he's prepared.
Oh, for Christ's sake.
When? And how?
Tonight. They send word for you to muster your men and rendezvous with them at Vranig.
This is madness.
Maybe it is. But I fear that Radzig and Hanush are right. The sooner we cure this pestilence, the better. Gather the men and make ready. We march tonight. Leave only as many as you must to guard the castle.
Very well, sir. As you command.
Will you be coming with us?
Yes, sir. I have some scores to settle with them.
Here we go! Uh-oh.
Divish. I see you don't want to miss the show.
You didn't expect me to leave all the glory to you.
Never. We wouldn't dream of starting without you.
What news? Did you parley with them?
We did.
And what was the outcome?
Not quite what we hoped for. Radzig wanted to go parley with him in person. Fortunately, I talked him out of it.
It seems that this will not be resolved without a battle.
Bloody good thing, too. Finally, we'll have some proper entertainment in the countryside.
Fortunately, my son here showed immense daring and made his way into the lion's den to spy on them.
Tell us what you saw, lad.
Nice, I got my balanced diet back. Awesome.
What do you want to know, exactly?
Well, let's start with how well fortified they are.
The outer palisade goes right around the whole camp. On a small hill inside it, there's a half-demolished farmhouse that's ringed by another palisade. That's where I was held prisoner, and that's where Toth's based. Him and his inner circle.
Can you tell us how many tents there are and how they're arranged?
There might be 50, maybe 70. Most of them in the right-hand side of the camp.
And the men? How many men strong are they?
Quite a few. At least 80.
Huh. We don't number much more than that ourselves.
We do outnumber them, though, even if only by a few men. And our men are well armed and disciplined. The foe, nothing but a rabble.
From what I've seen, it's best to attack from our direction. How does it look from the other sides?
The east side is all rocks, so no hope of launching a major assault from there. On the other hand, that's the way I escaped. It's where they throw all their waste. The heap's already so high it's almost to the top of the palisade.
Now that is interesting. The ramparts are long. If there are as many of them as we think, they can hardly keep watch over the entire length. Attack with full force at the gate, and they won't have enough men at the rear.
That's an excellent strategy. But then I'd expect no less from you.
If we cause an enormous uproar at the same time, they won't know what's hit them.
Uproar?
You said they have tents there?
Yes, sir.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, tents usually burn rather well. And we have quite a few archers.
You don't do things by halves, Divish.
So, I believe we have a plan. Robard will take 10 men and sneak to the rear of the fortifications. There's an entry point, but you must remain hidden.
I will do my best, sir.
That shouldn't be too hard. They'll have other things to worry about. The rest of us will launch a frontal assault. Rain burning arrows on them and then attack.
Those bastards won't know which way to turn.
At that point, Robard and his squad will strike from the rear.
I think it's a good plan.
God be with you, my friends.
We'll wipe those whore sons off the face of the earth.
Alright, this is gonna be epic. Hopefully. That'd be funny, random. That's not the armor I'm wearing.
Listen up now. We are about to meet the rabble that have been trying to hurt us. Pillaging, killing, raping, and generally being a thorn in our side for long enough. They may be hiding behind a stockade, but they are still a pack of curs who are no match for men like you. And tonight, we are going to festoon these trees with corpses. First, we will set fire to their little hornet's nest. Then we'll keep them busy by the gate. And when we've made it nice and hot for them, Sir Robard and his men will pounce on them from the rear. And we will hack them to pieces. Have you got it? Yes, sir! Good. Now, when we reach the ramparts, the archers will cover the men climbing it, and the men with the battering ram. Any of these fuckers foolish enough to stick his head outside the stockade is to lose it at once. Understood? Yes, sir! Glad to hear it. Now, let's do it! Forward!
Sir, this was all I could find.
A letter? What does it say, Radzig?
Alongside hunting, drinking, and swordplay, you might find time for a little study, old man. In the courts of Prague, every Tom, Dick, and Harry can read nowadays.
Yes, well, here in the countryside, we don't give a tinker's curse about such things. That's what I've got a scribe for, anyway. What does the damn thing say?
It appears to be written by Toth, but it doesn't say to whom. It says everything's going according to plan, and the castle should soon be taken.
Oh, hell.
What castle? What does he need a castle for?
Sir, we took this one alive. And it seems he's not just some ordinary spear carrier.
Where's that rat Toth? Where did he go? Speak, damn you!
He's thwarted you again, hasn't he?
If you play your cards right, you might come out of this in one piece. Where is your lord? He was here yesterday, wasn't he?
Come now, sir. We both know where I will end up. My lord is gone. He took most of the men and left.
Where has he gone? What is he planning? He writes here about taking some castle. Which castle?
Oh, some nearby castle, left completely unguarded. Now I wonder where it could be.
What are you saying, you horse son?
Talmberg. Did he go to Talmberg?
You'll never get him. You'll never get...
What? Were you planning on sending him to some monastery to become a monk? I believe we have some work to do, Sir Divish, do we not? Mount up, gentlemen. We don't have any time to waste.
That did seem too easy.
Halt! Who goes there? Greetings. We were ambushed. We need assistance. We have wounded men here. Open the gate. The Lord be praised.
That seems ill-advised.
Come on! Come on!
Lady Stephanie, I really don't think we should...
My lady.
Faster, man! Come on, faster!
My men are gravely wounded. Without treatment, I'm afraid they won't live to see morning.
Hiya! Hiya!
Not to worry. We'll take care of them.
My lady, you have my uttermost gratitude. May God reward you for your kindness.
Every Christian should help his neighbor in his hour of need.
True. Especially now, when treachery and deception surround us on all sides.
Get out of the way!
The devil lurks in the shadows.
Come on!
And one fears taking a guest into his house. Signal the others. Yes, sir.
Oh no. We're too late. Quickly! Follow me!
I think we need a plan. Or not. Yeah, I tried using a pike here, and they're just not very good, so hopefully they're much improved in KCD2.
Come out, you brat! Come out and fight like a man! I don't think so. I like it better right here. Would you rather hide behind my wife like some mangy whelp? I could just as easily cut her throat. I have hostages enough, and strong walls to protect me. Bring him here.
What?
Radzig? What do you want, you viper? Let me think. Actually, there's nothing I want from you. Except maybe to see you all die. Fire! Burn it down!
Christ. Are you all right?
I'll live. Whew, but I don't think I'll be wielding a sword for a while.
Oh, we have men enough for sword wielding. The good Lord is harder to come by.
How the hell did they get Radzig? I didn't make it to the gate.
He was charging against reinforcements from the castle.
We have to save Sir my father, somehow.
And we have to save my wife and get our home back.
My friend, I think you know as well as I, we have to lay siege.
No. No, that is our last resort. We have to try all our other options.
Sir, if a few men could scale the western wall after dark, maybe they could get inside, free the hostages, and open the gate. That is, if they're holding them in the courtyard, as we've always done.
Well, that's a big if. What if they're seen and they can't raise the portcullis quietly?
Sir Hanush, if we can save just one hostage.
It's a perilous undertaking. Who would you send?
I'll go.
Then let us make ready.
If any of you are having second thoughts, this is your last chance to speak. Very well. So I hope we're all clear on what has to be done. We need to free the hostages to deprive Toth of his advantage. Now he'll be keeping them somewhere where they can be guarded, but somewhere separate from his other men.
And where would that be?
We always kept our captives in the house on the bailey by the stables.
What if they're in their tower or somewhere else?
Then we'll have to go to the gate and try to open it. But that will take time and attract attention. So we can only do it if we know exactly how things stand. And if they sound the alarm, before we've done anything, we get out of there quick. Understood?
And leave them there?
Better a couple of hostages than a pile of corpses. Lord Capon, are you quite certain you want to engage in this action?
Quite. After all, it can't be much different from sneaking out of the upper castle in Rattay and back in every night. Besides, who else will keep this hothead from raising bloody mayhem?
Well, see to it that you do, my lord. May God guide our footsteps.
Damn it all. We'll have to go back empty-handed. I really thought we could pull it off.
We're not going anywhere. Not without my father and Lady Stephanie.
And how are we meant to find them? They're not in the stables or anywhere nearby. You want to creep right inside the palace where Toth's men are everywhere?
Yes. We can't leave them in Toth's hands.
It was hard enough getting this far, but going inside is madness. What good will it do them if we get caught?
Then we mustn't get caught.
Listen, Hal, I can appreciate your stubbornness, usually. But this could cost us our heads. At least we saved those other people.
I told you, I'm not leaving here without the hostages.
If you're determined to be a stubborn ox, go right ahead. I suppose you might as well look for your sword while you're at it. No point leaving the job half done.
Save your speeches. Are you going to help me or not?
If you want to get yourself killed, you can do it alone. But before you go raising bloody mayhem, give us time to get out of here.
Come on then. Let's get the fuck out of here before they catch us.
Oh.
Fuck my ass!
I have to admit, we didn't do too well.
True. The shame of it. They drove us back before we even got anywhere. It's worse than if they'd killed us.
Well, I wouldn't go that far. We had to give it a try. If we succeeded.
If pigs had wings. I know it troubles you, but it's not over yet. We'll rescue the hostages and hang that bastard Ishvan.
It seems, Robard, that we're running out of options.
We don't have enough men to scale the walls with ladders. And we can't afford to lose any more. We can only take Talmberg by a ruse or with superior numbers. Ruses have failed, and we don't have superior numbers.
Then we are left with no choice but to build a trebuchet. To demolish my own walls. Where is Master Fafar?
He's waiting. We sent for him as soon as...
Bring him to me. Let's not waste time. You will build me a trebuchet, Master Tobias.
Trebuchet, my lord. That's not entirely in my field of expertise.
We have to take back Talmberg.
Yes, indeed, sir. I understand that.
And you are the best engineer we can rely on in the whole fiefdom.
Oh, well, thank you, my lord, but it's just that I've never built a trebuchet before. This could take some time.
Then you'd better get to it. Bernard will go over the plan of attack with you.
Oh.
Well, Master Tobias, you have much to do and little time. I will not keep you any longer.
Indeed. Of course, sir. Thank you, my lord.
How are the preparations proceeding in the other camps?
As well as can be expected under the circumstances. There are still many things that need doing, but I just don't have the time for them.
No, you don't. Henry.
Yes, sir.
I would like for you to help with the preparations in the encampments.
Gladly, sir.
Robard will brief you. That'll be all.
Now, let's see how strong those walls are.
Let it rip!
That was just the first shot. The trebuchet has to be calibrated. That's perfectly normal. I'll have the range in no time.
Move. Move. God damn it, I have to get to Sir Divish. Sir, they're coming. There's no time.
Someone bring water. Breathe, man. You'll be all right. Who's coming?
There's an army on the way. And they're carrying the colors of Havel Medic of Valdek. And they're very close. Havel Medic? He's surely not coming to help us.
Not that bastard. I have a score to settle with him. Gentlemen, Toth's reinforcements are about to descend on us.
That swine.
How many men?
We don't know exactly, but there are many, and they will probably be here by dawn.
So soon? How is it that we knew nothing about this before?
The whole land is in chaos. It's a wonder we can find out anything at all.
If they attack from the rear...
We'd be finished, just as Toth has been planning.
The sneaky weasel.
He's been one step ahead of us the whole time.
Not this time, though.
What are you thinking?
Robard, how do you think the weather will be tomorrow?
Well, sir, if my joints don't deceive me, and they rarely do, it'll rain. It'll rain buckets.
Here. We'll make a stand here, I and Radzig's men. You will wait until they charge us, and then strike them from the rear. Here and here. If we succeed, we'll have it over and done with before they notice anything in Townburg.
It might just work. But we'll have to leave someone in the encampments in case they do come out of Talberg.
A few men will be all I need.
Well, that depends on whether you can hold out. We don't even know how many there are.
We will hold out.
I'll give the orders to my men.
We will be ready. Well?
The damage isn't too serious.
So we can shoot.
Not just yet.
Sir, what are we waiting for?
You've heard his threats, Robard. Do you want him to kill Radzik and my wife? We have to consider all our options.
And it would be a shame to destroy the castle, too. But how do we get that rat out of there?
Sir, I might have a solution. What about exchanging hostages? He was the captain at Vranyik, and he brought Istvan's reinforcements here. He seems to be on very, intimate terms with Toth. He might be able to tell us something. And he might even be as valuable to his lord as Lady Stephanie and my father are to us.
You're your father's son, by God.
You're a godsend, lad. You're right. We'll interrogate this whore, son, and then decide what to do next. Come to my tent when you've rested.
Sir, we should give the order.
Let's see if Istvan Toth can worm his way out of this one.
Don't tempt fate, Hanush.
Istvan! It's over! You want us to come and get you?
I wouldn't advise that. Your friend Divish wants to see his wife alive again.
And Sir Radzig? Are both hostages unharmed?
For now, Hanush, unless circumstances change.
I'm glad to hear it. My guest is also safe and sound, but he's also quite keen to go home. I imagine you feel the same way. It's been a long time since you warmed yourself at your own hearth.
I'm in no hurry. I've plenty of supplies here, grand view and excellent company. What more could I want?
Your freedom!
Freedom? Freedom to get an arrow in the back?
Sir, we're all noblemen here, all bound by honor. I give you my word as a knight and lord, and that of my companions. If you release Lady Stephanie and Sir Radzig, you may leave the castle with your men and go on your way unharmed.
And just how far will we get? What good will it do me if your men attack us in the woods instead of here?
If you give me your word of honor that you will leave and never return, I promise you safe passage to the boundary of this fiefdom. What happens after that is up to you and the will of God Almighty.
Very well then, but I want a small safeguard. I'll give you her ladyship, but Radzig comes with me. I'll release him in Skalitz.
Out of the question! Is our word not good enough for you?
Is mine not good enough for you? I swear I'll release him when I get to a safe distance.
I'll go with him, Hanush. Let the Lady Stephanie have her freedom now.
Father!
Don't worry, son. I trust Lord Toth's self-interest more than his word. He wouldn't be fool enough to harm me.
If you're certain, Radzig.
Prepare horses and supplies, and tell your men to pull back. We'll come down.
You heard him. Get to work. And any man who breaks this truce answers to me.
So, are you really going to let them go?
My word is my bond, Henry.
He's a cutthroat and a liar. Good men are dead because of him. What's to stop us from skewering him as soon as he sets foot outside?
Our honor!
If you let him go, he'll do the same again. Or worse.
God's justice will find him. And then he'll get a taste of my mace.
If we break our word of honor, we have none. And without honor, we are nothing. Never fear. Your father will be all right.
We'll hunt down those vermin yet.
Bring the horses.
Here she is, as I promised. Not a hair on her head harmed.
Divish.
Stephanie.
Forgive me, husband. I'm sorry
For what?
for letting them into the castle.
Come now, my dear. You're not to blame.
I didn't know who he was. He said he was your friend.
Never mind. Did he hurt you?
No.
I hope your word can be trusted.
Certainly more than yours.
If everything goes as agreed, I'll set Radzig free in Skalitz. If anyone tries to follow us, I'll kill him.
We won't.
My apologies for keeping you from your father, but you'll see each other soon enough. Oh, I almost forgot. Your sword. I expect you'll want it back after all the trouble you went to. Actually, you know what? I think I'll keep it. As a memento.
This isn't over. I'll find you.
I look forward to it. Yeah!
Quick! To the battlements! We have to see which way they go! Oh, they really are heading for Skalitz. Mount up, Henry.
You've heard what he'll do if we follow them.
We're not going to follow them. We just have to collect your father. Or do you want him to walk back here when they release him? There's no sign of them. Move on. There! I'm glad to see Istvan kept his word, sir.
Not half as glad as I am, Your Grace.
Well, we kept our word too, and now Toth has had his head start and he's fair game. Which way do they go?
To the north, but I would be careful, Sir Hans.
Fear not, Your Grace. I have twice as many men as he. Well, I won't keep you any longer. I'm sure the two of you have a lot to say to each other. Let's go!
You all right, Father?
I am. They treated me quite decently. Although they did steal my horse, so I'll have to go back on foot.
It looks like it's all over.
Not by a long shot. It won't be over until we get this mess cleared up.
And catch that bastard. How could we let him go?
Would you rather we killed him? Even if it meant Lady Stephanie and I died too?
No, of course not. But what was to stop us from killing him after the exchange?
Honor?
Honor?
If the word of honor of a nobleman could not be trusted, then he would never have agreed to the exchange.
And where's the honor in abandoning your son?
You know how it is. We were young. It happened. And I couldn't marry a commoner. Then your father, Martin, came along and took care of both of you.
Well, he knew it.
What? That I was your father? Certainly. He was a great man. He took you as his own. And always kept an eye on you. Of that you can be sure.
I know so little about his past.
He told you nothing? Oddly enough, even though you don't have his blood, you're very like him. When he was around your age, he became bored of his trade and set out to see the world. He lived through many adventures, even fought in a war.
In a war?
Yes, in Poland, I believe. And I don't think he cared much for it.
That's why he wanted me to stay at home.
He spent some time in Prague, then settled in Kuttenberg. But it seems he quarreled with someone there and finally ended up here. You know the rest.
I loved him, but even so, I somehow always had a feeling I didn't quite fit in.
It was in your blood, I suppose.
I lost the one thing I had left from him. Your sword.
Ah, the sword. It's not my sword. It's yours. For a moment there, it was so near, yet so far. Oh, well, it can't be helped.
It was almost within my grasp, but just then I had something else on my mind.
Well, I think we may yet have a chance to get it back. This business with Toth is not yet over, unfortunately.
That's a chance I'd welcome. Not just to get the sword, but that bastard Istvan too. And then I'll find that German whoreson who torched Skalitz, and I'll slay him with it. I'll never forget his face. Or his name. Marquardt von Aulitz.
Those are noble intentions, son. But don't forget there are other things in this world that are worth living for.
Like what?
Look around you. Blue skies overhead, green grass underfoot, beautiful girls. Good wine, a few good friends, and a fine steed under your backside. Those are things worth living for. Though I can't deny that swine who killed your mother must pay for what he did. But it's better not to dwell too much on that at the cost of those other things. On the subject of steeds, I think we'll have to ride like the Knights Templar.
How's that?
2 up. One day I'll tell you how they got their seal. You can take the front. It's like I always imagined it would be, teaching my boy to ride. Although it would be better if you were a little smaller. My word, it's all go today, isn't it? I wonder who this is.
I think I know. It's Margrave Jobst.
The king's cousin? I wonder what he wants. I guess we'll find out soon enough.
Doing well, son.
Father.
Come now. You know who sired you.
That doesn't matter now. I miss you, Amar. I miss you very much.
You'll be fine. We're proud of you.
For what? I let you down. I lost the sword. I let that bastard get away.
Don't be so hard on yourself. There was nothing you could have done to save us. And someone has to live and carry the torch. As for the sword, it's just a thing.
You didn't want me fighting. Now look at me.
Standing up to evil isn't the same as sowing its seeds. You did what was right. I have to leave you now.
Oh, please.
You know I can't stay.
Will I ever see you again?
God knows. Make her proud.
Don't go.
Oh, don't go. No.
What on earth were you dreaming about? I couldn't wake you, and it's well past dawn. Sir Radzig wants you at the upper castle. The lords are in council with Jobst.
Right. I'll go straight away. What is it?
It's just... I don't know how to address you anymore. All of a sudden you're Sir Radzig's son, hobnobbing with lords and ladies. And here's me, as common as muck.
Oh, give over, you idiot. Do I look like a lord to you?
Not really. You're as much a lord as I am a nun. And I've never looked good in a habit.
Get out of here! Or I'll have you clapped in the stocks.
My lords, Christ's blessings on you all.
And on you, Lord Capon.
And this is my son, Henry.
I didn't know you had a son, Sir Radzig.
It came as a bit of a surprise to young Henry, too.
This gentleman here is John II of Liechtenstein, a member of my council.
I'm honored, gentlemen.
Come join us. Margrave Jobst was just about to tell us the reason for his visit. Your Grace?
I'm sure we're all agreed, Your Graces, that all this unrest must come to an end. This kingdom needs a king.
Question is, which king?
My cousin, Wenceslas IV, who is being held in captivity.
I have to confess, my lord, that your answer surprises me a little. If I'm correctly informed, until recently you sided with your other cousin, Sigismund.
That I cannot deny, and I have always stated my position plainly. But times have changed.
How have they changed, Your Grace?
Sir, there is one thing on which we undoubtedly concur, that King Wenceslas, unfortunately, did not inherit his father's gift for governing. Sadly, his failures have cost Bohemia, the nobles, and our whole Luxembourg family a great deal of money and effort.
How did the king let it go so far, damn it?
It's in his temperament. He cares only for wine, women, and the hunt. A king, in fact, who never wanted to be king.
Then why didn't he just let his brother have the crown?
Young sir, the crown weighs heavy when there are duties to be performed, but to surrender it means giving up great privileges too.
But he did surrender power to his brother. When things started getting out of hand, Wenceslas appealed to Sigismund for help in restoring order.
What, you're saying Wenceslas invited him here?
This is starting to make my head spin.
Actually, it makes sense when you think about it. Sigismund wanted to re-establish the power of the whole House of Luxembourg. He thought if he helped Wenceslas win the imperial crown, in return his brother would help him become the king of the Romans, and leave the actual reign of Bohemia and the empire to him. Sigismund would govern, while Wenceslas could carry on doing what he was best at, enjoying the life of the imperial court.
Why wasn't Wenceslas crowned Holy Roman Emperor long ago? He was already elected king of the Romans. All he had to do was go and let the Pope put the damn imperial crown on his head.
Who knows? Maybe he'd prefer hunting and consorting with bathhouse wenches to spending time with the Pope.
Well, so would I must admit.
Sigismund's plan seemed sound enough, but it didn't quite work out, did it?
It worked for a while. He and his brother reached an agreement. Sigismund took over administration of the kingdom and began planning Wenceslas's journey to Rome for the imperial coronation. But then Wenceslas realized he would just be a puppet with a crown.
I must say, Margrave Jobst, Wenceslas and Prokop behave rather like naughty children in need of a good clout about the ears.
Sigismund would agree. He was already planning his rule of Bohemia, and all of a sudden, the rug was pulled from under him. I'd say he lost his patience and decided he'd drag Wenceslas to the coronation kicking and screaming if he had to. Just like a naughty child, as you say.
So he abducted him and your brother Prokop too, if I heard correctly.
Correct.
And you helped him do it, if I heard correctly.
Yes, Your Graces, it's true. I was there when Sigismund abducted Prokop. I thought everything could somehow be settled, that we could make my brother see sense. But Sigismund just wanted to put an end to the dispute once and for all, whatever the cost. There was nothing I could do to stop him. And that's one of the reasons why I'm here. The worst of it is that it was all for nothing. Instead of putting a stop to the revolt, it escalated it, and the result is this chaos we have today.
That's true enough, sir. But I must admit now, I'm not sure what your position is. The king is incompetent, but we must protect him?
The simple truth, gentlemen, is that for all of Wenceslas's faults, we have no one else.
So we'll have to make do with his idleness.
People like him, though.
But what can we do now? Sigismund has the League of Lords behind him. Otto von Bergolf, Heinrich von Rosenberg.
The situation has gotten completely out of control. Now even the nobles of the League of Lords are realizing that Sigismund wasn't the right choice.
So now Berghoff is on your side. Are we to assemble an army together with him and face Sigismund on the field of battle?
We're not in Hungary now. Such affairs may be settled elegantly, without unnecessary hostilities or expenses. I have negotiated an alliance with the Hungarian bishops, the Polish, and of course the Czech nobility, against Sigismund. Every day he is losing the ground under his feet, and that's why I need your help too.
What kind of help, though? Sigismund has a massive army, and Rosenberg, Berghoff, and Prague are behind him. Do you have an army you could face him with?
But that's not what I mean at all. There's been a revolt against Sigismund in Hungary, partly due to my efforts, and now he'll have to choose whether he wants to gain the Bohemian crown, which is a very risky enterprise, or hold on to the Hungarian one. He can't have both. And there's a tough struggle awaiting him in Hungary. I'm not sure he'll win, and Rosenberg and Berghoff know it too. They're not stupid. If the Bohemian nobility stands together, they will turn.
We are men of little consequence, Margrave. Radzig here lost everything because of his alliance with Wenceslas. Sir Divish came within a hair of the same fate. Even Rattay is defenseless against Sigismund and the League of Lords.
What's more, Your Grace, King Wenceslas languishes in captivity in Vienna. He can't rule too well from there.
And what do you propose? To sit with your arms folded till the Bohemian lands are turned to ashes like Skalitz? We have to put a stop to this senseless war!
And do you know, sir, what the true position of the League of Lords is?
I'm not on the best of terms with them at this moment, so you'll have to ask them yourselves.
Yes. Why not? I'll go and visit Berghoff at his castle and we'll see what he tells me.
You know, that's not such a bad idea, young sir.
True. Though a little risky.
I doubt Berghoff would harm a blue-blooded envoy. And you can find out what he has to say about developments and what the League of Lords is planning. Then we'll decide what to do next.
I'll help you compose a letter to him.
I'd like Henry to come with me.
Why not? He's proven himself an able investigator, and he'll also be a good bodyguard if anything should happen.
And I'll send Sir John here to Kuttenberg to be my eyes and ears there. I believe both your reports will help us get a better grip on the situation.
When can you set out?
Just as soon as I've packed my things.
Excellent. Margrave Jobst and I will draft a letter. Get ready, and we'll meet back here.
I believe we have written it well, gentlemen.
Without a doubt. No one could deduce from this whether we are Sigismund's allies or foes.
I must travel back to Brno now, but soon I will go to Brandenburg and I will stop here on the way back. By then, Sir Capon should be back and we can discuss how to proceed.
Right. Before you leave, my lord, there is one thing that gives me no rest. Why did Sigismund come as a foe? It makes no sense.
If I may, sir, I think I can explain.
Oh, please enlighten us, young sir.
I live not far from Hungary, where Sigismund reigns. It is a savage country, and the constant war with the Turks has hardened the people. They need a monarch with an iron hand. So when Sigismund felt the wind of revolt, he reacted as he would at home. Only what works on the Hungarian nobles does not work here in Bohemia.
Bringing order is one thing, but slaughtering and pillaging with a horde of barbarians quite another. What purpose does that serve?
But Sigismund did give the Bohemian nobles a chance to take his side. It was only when they refused his ultimatum that he lost patience and took to the sword.
As for the barbarians, he could afford nothing better. The Hungarian nobility would gain nothing from joining his campaign in Bohemia. He didn't have enough coin for a regular army, and so he recruited the Cumans. What he does not pay them, they make up for in plunder.
But in the end, he didn't have enough to even satisfy the Cumans. That's why he raided Gutenberg and Skalitz. He wanted the silver.
That makes sense.
My lords, how's the letter coming along?
It's done.
Then we can be on our way.
Now remember what we said, boy. All you have to do is deliver the letter, listen to the answer, and come back here. Don't provoke Berghoff in any way.
Provoke? Me? Never, Uncle. We'll be back in a few days. Farewell, your graces. Come, Henry, my men are waiting.
I wish you Godspeed.
Let's get to it then. I finally have the feeling we're doing something worthwhile. We're helping to save the king.
Instead of saving his drunken majesty, I'd rather find that whoreson who murdered my parents, get the sword back from him, and skewer him with it.
Cheer up, Henry. I have a feeling you'll get your chance one day, and it won't be long in coming. Forward, men! Audentes fortuna juvat!